Hello, everyone. Back again. Hope everybody's having a great Friday. I just get done feeding. Got my tractor finally pushed up here. They're ready to be loaded. They called, so they'd be here this week to get it. Or this one anyway. The other one, the boys traded it for a different tractor. I'll have it in the video in a few days. We're getting ready to spread some fertilizer. But I have really been struggling this week of sitting and watching a lot of stuff on what Congress doing, what the Senate's doing, what they pulled last night. I watched the girl killed in Illinois, Chicago, the woman killed here in Virginia, the 14-year-old that was raped in New York, and they give a slap on that thing's face, just slapped him on the hand and turned him loose, give him 6 months and time served, turn him back out on the streets to rape another child. And you had that Murphy come out on CNN, Senator Murphy, Congressman Murphy, Senator Murphy, who said that their job, their Democratic Party job, was to protect those illegal aliens. They served them, more or less piss on the American people. I've come to the conclusion, people, if you vote for a Democrat, you're voting for higher taxes and death on the American street. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. It's proven. They don't, they holler when a kid takes a Bible to school or something like that. They holler, separation of church and state, separation of church and state. Or if they have the 10 Commandments in the courthouse, separation of church and state. But when it comes to Muhammad and the Quran, hey, they want to make laws that you can't make fun of Islam. They want to be able to take their prayer rugs into school and pray 5 times a day. They want to be able to stop on their work, on their job site, and pray 5 times a day. That's okay. There ain't no church and state involved there. I've been watching these Muslims for a long time. Back in Obama days, there used to be a thing on BBC that I'd watch on the satellite. This imam would come on about every Sunday. They'd have him on some kind of talk show, and I got to watching it. And he talked about their goal for England had come to pass. You see what's happening in England, don't you? And he also talked about America, how they would infiltrate America by using the stupid Democrats, as he called them, because he said they're stupid. And they're doing it. You see what's in Texas, Minnesota, Michigan, Virginia, up in the upper part of northern Virginia. You see it. You see what was elected in Fairfax County. The first thing he done, try to disarm you. Their goal is what this guy said, was to come in, put people in certain places and local governments to start to tear down the fabric of this country, to bring in Sharia law, to take our Second Amendments away, to where we couldn't fight back. And you see what's happening in these states. And here in Virginia, they're trying their gun laws. But you know what? They'll never take our guns, no matter how hard they try. It's just plain simple fact. We're going to have to stand up and take our government back and take our country back. If we can't vote our way out, then I guess it'll have to be the other way. We'll have no choice. And that's what the Second Amendment is for a tyrannical government. But they push higher taxes to pay for the illegals. The first thing at Spanberg, that when you come in and the Democratic legislature come in, the first thing they start doing is thinking about higher taxes, how to get more money to give the illegals more free stuff, free college, free health care, and then you pay for it. But all the taxes, dry cleaner tax, tax on weed eaters and blowers, landscaping equipment, taxes on if you have on your repair bills, tax. And I can't figure how these Democratic voters don't see what's going on, but they live in a cult. God has been took out of everything. Jesus has been took everything, and they're trying to place it with Muhammad. So you Christian conservatives on this voting on this redistricting and voting in Democrats in general, you better get up off your hind end. You better quit listening to Tucker Carlson. You better quit listening to Candace Owen. You better quit listening to CNN, ABC, NBC, MS Now, whatever the shit it is, and even some people on Fox News and Newsmax. God give you a discernment and judgment for a reason. But he also give us free will. That's why some of us will go to hell while others go to heaven. We need to get back to a godly nation. I can't believe what I see goes on this country and how people are so easy swayed, so easy fooled. You have people, while our men and women are being over in war, a protest on the street for the mullahs who kill their own people and has killed thousands and hundreds of American soldiers and people over the years. We've been at war with these people 47 years. Are out of the bullhorn and saying that they're going to spit on the caskets of the American soldiers coming back from war. Now, they have the right to do that. This is America. But there's no patriotism in this country no more. I think about World War II. The sacrifices are grandparents, great grandparents, wherever you're at there. The sacrifices they made at home so they could fight overseas. And here we are, people talking about gas prices. Well, there's a little sacrifice there that our boys and girls overseas has what they need to fight. And they come out talking about them eating steak. You know what? They ought to have steak and lobster every single day. And caviar and champagne if they want it. Because they give the ultimate sacrifice so me and you can get on here and I can spout off what I believe. They pay the absolute sacrifice for our freedom. For those nut jobs that get out in the middle of the street and say they hate America, they pay they're paying the ultimate sacrifice. And so that the ones before them that's dead and over in foreign soil that's never coming home and that died in World War II and Vietnam and Korea. They took history out of school. They took civics out of school. And these teachers, I don't know what they teach. All they can teach is transgenderism. How the world would be a better place if little Johnny could be little Betty. And people go along with it. I get so frustrated. I wish it was like it was back in the 40s and 50s and 60s, where you could go up there and you could grab one of them fellers, pull them out of their box in Congress, and just stomp the shit out of them. That's what we need to get back to, instead of this, oh, he said something bad, call the law, get a warrant. Pitiful. He said something bad about me. Oh, sue. We need more men. You know, I'll tell you what, back in the early 80s, 70s, you know, I've been known to drag somebody across the Parks County when they smarted off. I was brought up, you know, you didn't start nothing. But if somebody insulted you and put their hands on you, you either took a whipping or, you know, or you give one. Either way, you was there. Well, I probably said the wrong thing there, but, you know, it's the way it was. Men were men, and women were women. Nowadays, it's, oh, he hurt my feelings. Oh, called the law. He said a bad word to me. Depending on if you're conservative or Democrat, depends on where you go to jail. And these actors and actresses, down there spouting their mouth, they don't represent America. They're rich, elite, spoiled ass brats. And forgive my French, I'm going to lose my religion here. I've got to get off here because I'm getting too mad and I'm going to say something that I'm going to regret. And I don't edit nothing. What you see is what you get, bloopers and all. I ain't editing jack poo out. I believe in just saying what it is. If I make a boo-boo and a mistake, it's in there. You know, if I say something that's a mistake, it's going to be in here. Because I ain't got time. I do everything on my phone. I don't do nothing on the computer. I ain't got time for that junk. What you see here is what you get. Take it or leave it. Subscribe or unsubscribe or move on. I really don't care. I believe in being honest and saying what you believe. It's not for clicks and views. It's to get people motivated to get up off their hind end and vote and turn this country back to what it was. You know, people don't watch all the way through, and probably a lot of you not going to hear this, but people think President Trump can get up there and do a magic wand and do everything. And when you sit down behind that office and behind that desk, you see all the intelligence. You see that Iran was within weeks of getting enough to make a nuclear bomb. You've got a decision to make. Whether you want to go to war or not, whether you said you didn't want no wars or not, you've got a choice to make. Do you let them get it and threaten the world and hold the world hostage? Or do you take them out? You see all these YouTubers on there, oh, he said no new wars, no new wars. Well, until you sit down behind that desk and see what he sees, I mean, I don't want no new wars either. But I don't see what he sees every single day. And the stuff that he has on him every single day, fighting off attacks from rhinos, being backstabbed by people that are just looking to make a name for themselves. The pressure that the man is under. People, grow up. He sees stuff that will probably make your hair fall out. And he has to make decisions. And luckily, he's got good advisors there with him. But this video's getting too long. I'm going to cut it off there. People, get out and vote. Vote no in Virginia. We're doing it. Last I seen, Scott County is way ahead. Let's keep it up. I'm even going to break my rule. I'm going this week and vote early. I only vote on election day, but this year I'm going to break it and I'm going to go and get my name in there to be on the list of the making Scott County one of the most there. I guess it's a little competition. Won't hurt nothing. But the good Lord of willing people, God bless each and every one of you. And Tony, I did wear my red shirt on Friday. God bless you. Have a great evening.